In the Fuzzy Memories podcast, we celebrate the good, the rad, and the fugly of the 80s and 90s.
We're three latchkey kids who made it out alive.
And in each episode, we break down all the culture that popped, 1 year at a time.
Whether it's the birth of legends...
I'm Lyme disease free today, and I have Whitney Houston and MTV to thank. Or audacious moves.
Imagine also the poor Golden Gate Bridge. You turn 75 and people have a party on you.
Yep. I don't want that.
Or even confusing PSAs.
And the stop, drop, and roll. I mean, I assumed as an adult I would catch on fire weekly.
All the time!
We've got a take that will make you laugh.
We've also got thoughts on all sorts of random phenomena and the most unmitigated of golf.
Why sharks can't be trusted, people can't be trusted, and rivers can't be trusted. It's collusion.
It's of the highest degree.
Uh-huh.
You were counseling me to start my remarks with, first of all, bitch.
Everyone in that room would have snapped to attention.
It's going to be basically coffee lids, shark revenge, and then maybe like Matt Getz. God, we need to do something about him.
Join us every other Wednesday to celebrate the hits, the misses, and the misfits of the weirdest decades.
If I could tell my 14-year-old self from 1990 that I would be eating in a Cheesecake Factory in
Beverly Hills,
I'd be like, we did it. We did it, Joe.
We did it.
Listen and subscribe to Fuzzy Memories on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform.
Hello, and welcome to Broads and Books, the podcast with one unique theme, 4 handpicked book recommendations, and 2 broads. I'm Amy.
And I'm Erin, and this is episode number 17, Utility Players.
Utility players. Because you know what? The people that we picked for this themed episode can do more than one thing. They are multi-talented.
Yes.
And in fact, this came from another listener who suggested a theme idea. His name is Adam, and he suggested a theme about one-hit wonders, which we sort of adapted because we wanted to focus on people that can do more than one thing.
Yes.
So this is their first foray into another field beyond where they were known.
Yeah. We picked people that you would maybe, if you knew their other jobs, be surprised that they wrote a book, but they're fantastic. And so we hope that they aren't one-hit wonders.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And it also makes us a little bit frustrated that they're multi-talented.
Yeah. It's enraging. It's absolutely infuriating.
Like, stay in your lane.
Yeah. Why do you have to be so good at everything?
I know.
You're that guy. Okay.
Fine. Okay.
Great.
I feel so inadequate.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're good. Oh, you can ice skate too? Great. Wow. All right. Oh, you were in the Olympics. Oh.
Oh, you're an actor and a singer? Great.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. We're not going to be friends.
Fine.
But it did make us sort of have to look at some of our own unique skills and talents.
Oh, for sure.
Because, we've got some cross talent, I feel like.
We are somewhat talented in things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's one skill that you think someone would be surprised to know that you had, a skill or talent?
Well, you know what?
What?
I can do a mean Excel sheet. I can organize a project like nobody's business.
That is, yes, true.
And I can keep track of what I'm doing over a long project through copious Excel sheets that are just impressive as hell, I'll be honest.
Glorious.
Yeah.
You're the Excel master.
Like, I look at them and I also have to, understand that sometimes I'm procrastinating from the thing I should be doing because I am focusing on making a bomb-ass, Excel sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And I am.
This is yet another way of a ride or die because I relate to all of that. And I am not the Excel master that you are, but I would say that my skill that I thought that I had was similar in that I think people will be surprised to know that I love accounting.
Oh, yeah.
I love keeping our books.
Yeah.
I love adding things up and subtracting things. And
things just
taxes,
make sense.
And it's weird. I know. It doesn't go with any other part of my personality. And if you knew me in high school, you would be like, you couldn't even pass algebra. So what are you doing? That seems very ill-advised. But I love it.
I took an accounting class my senior year of high school because I was like, you know what? This field I think I could actually do. Even though I hate math, this makes sense in some way.
Yeah.
Everything just comes together.
It does. You got one goal. You're just getting there.
It's got to feel gratifying as hell.
It is. It's like a little puzzle. I get so excited. Yeah.
And if someone gives you a problem to solve via accounting,
Yeah.
good
Find
Lord.
it. I'll find it.
So that's kind of like your super skill.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what a superhero name would be based on your accounting. The accountant? That's pretty lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also a movie with Ben Affleck, and he was intense.
Oh,
in that
okay.
movie.
We don't want to do that. Okay.
Huh. The bookkeeper?
Ooh.
Is that a little? Because then it's like double meaning, like books and bookkeeping.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We found your alter ego.
The nerdiest superhero name in all the land.
If you ever join one of those online multiplayer games, you have to go as the bookkeeper.
I will.
And you will be feared across the land.
Will I?
Yes.
Yeah. I feels like the kind of one that would be like have a cameo in one of the Marvel movies that they would make fun of. Like, oh, the bookkeeper didn't quite make it. Like, oh God, he's,
But you're still in that movie.
Yeah. Hey, I still made a cameo, so suck it.
All right, so knowing that is a skill of yours, maybe a secret skill.
Yeah.
What's a skill you wish you had?
I wish that I could be an artist. And I mean this like those people that can paint amazingly or create these amazing artistic things. And not just that, but then they can sell it. Like they have the swag to be able to be in an art show and be like, yeah, I made that. And I'm way too cool to explain it to you.
I'm just going to let you think about it.
Yeah. I wish I had
Challenge you.
that.
Yeah.
Because you look at them and think, oh man, it would be so cool to even, both sides, abstract and, the ones that they do silhouettes, they do people, all that, both sides.
But I think you could potentially create some weird piece of art, put it up in a gallery, and then just have that swag and just wait for someone to explain it, to give their thought of what it means. And you're like, nope, you're wrong.
I think that I could, but then I also have this fear that it would just seem like a really weird Saturday Night Live sketch. Like, what's the punchline here? Did you make that? You didn't make this. You did. Okay. And you think it has meaning? No, it doesn't. Like, they would just immediately know I was a fraud, I feel like.
Not if it was Kristen Wiig playing you. You would believe it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we can put other people in,
Sure.
then done.
Awesome.
Done. Okay. So what about you? What's one?
I wish I could play the piano. I've always wanted to, I've even taken classes. It just doesn't stick, Erin. I don't know what it is. It's like I can do one hand. If I combine the two hands, everything just goes out the window. They can't operate independently of each other or something, which is so weird because I can type like a mother effer, but
So your hands are codependent?
Yes. Yes. They don't want to be alone.
I don't want to do. No, I'm not going to do that part of the song without you.
But yes, I swear, multiple times in my life, I've been like, all right, this is it. This is when it's going to happen. I'm going to buy myself a little keyboard. I'm going to take some lessons online or whatever. I get maybe one lesson in, and I'm just like, God damn it.
What if maybe you just need a combo? Like, what if you went with a keytar instead of just a keyboard?
Oh my God.
I mean, maybe your hands just need to be totally involved in separate things. Like,
think they
one
do.
needs to be rocking a guitar and one needs to keyboard.
Oh man, you're
Guitar
right.
might have been made for you.
I think it might have been. And then I can come up with your theme song as the bookkeeper.
Awesome.
So then when you walk in, you got a nice guitar solo going on,
Yes.
announcing your presence.
What I pictured right away, too, was some really great strat for your guitar that has, all your old bands, all their pins,
God,
that could be
yes.
on there. Like a very, very prominent David Bowie.
For sure.
Bikini Kill, some of
Yes.
those other ones all over there.
All of them.
Just jamming on your
Oh
guitar.
my God.
And hopefully it has that demo button that all the keyboards have that's like, wake me up before you go. I don't play, go. And so,
Stop, we're going to have to pay for it.
No, that was the keyboard demo rendition.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
It wasn't even
It
close.
wasn't even close. Okay,
If
great.
you want money for that, shame on you.
Shame on you, Wham.
Yeah. You forgot it was Wham.
George Michael. Well, I
come.
guess they're dead now.
Good luck, George Michael. Getting that from me.
Oh boy. Well, okay, so unlike us, yes, we have a few skills that we are real proud of.
Yeah.
And some new skills we might try and learn eventually.
We might.
But the people in our picks, they are real strong in one area and then freaking coming out strong in another one.
Yeah. It's depressing and amazing.
It really is. So my first pick is
Yes.
a prime example of this.
Awesome.
It is called Gather the Daughters by Jenny Melamed. This was from 2017, and the book starts with a young teen girl who gets her period in class. Mortifying, embarrassing. We've probably all been there. It's real sucky. But this means in this world of this book, she's going to have her summer of fruition, which she's super devastated about. So we're like, okay, that sounds real creepy. What is that?
Yeah.
We are in this strange old-fashioned place. There's like an old schoolhouse. It's really rigid teaching going on. But we quickly learn this is an island populated by a really small group of people who all escaped a few years ago after the rest of the world was pretty much decimated by like nuclear holocaust.
Oh.
So, yeah.
All right.
But the people that have come here, they've created a whole weird cult around ancestor worship, around rites of passage. So,
This is going to take a turn.
it is. Because we follow a few teen girls, some who have gone through this summer of fruition that involves some real weird sexual rites. I'll be honest.
Oh.
Yep. But some of them have not yet had their period. And if they're not yet considered adults or adolescents, they get all summer long to just run free. They are feral. They get to leave their parents behind, go fight each other for food, basically live like animals on this island all summer long.
Oh my gosh.
But then this summer, in this book, one of the young girls sees and hears something she's not supposed to. And what happens is she starts telling some of the other girls, and then they decide this whole system is kind of messed up.
Oh.
So they stage a revolt. It's real intense and real entertaining. And why I chose this is because Jenny Melamed is a psychiatric nurse practitioner specializing in traumatized children.
Oh gosh.
She did her doctorate work, get this, on anthropological, biological, and cultural aspects of child abuse. She knows her shit. But also she can tell a story. The writing in this book is phenomenal. But knowing where she came from, knowing she has this basis for us. So she's creating this whole world, but there's a lot of things that she's pulling in from her own studies, from her own research. It's incredible. One thing to note, as I've mentioned, there is a major thread, obviously, of child abuse, child sexual abuse. So if that is something you don't want to read about, totally understand, may want to skip this book. But if you can hang in, it is quite a ride. It's really sad. It's really heartfelt, but it's hopeful too, in a way, at the end. So I highly recommend it. In fact, in some of the research that I was seeing this week about this book, there may be another one coming. She says that she wants to maybe revisit this world at another time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But yeah, so a nurse, a doctor, a doctorate, and a writer.
Just
It really annoyed me, I gotta be honest,
yeah.
because it was
Wow.
good. Damn it. But
But I mean, good for her.
kudos
Way
to you,
pull
Jenny
that work
Melamed.
into something.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely amazing how she does. You can tell, like, knowing her history, knowing what she's studied, you know that everything in there is chosen for a reason. That maybe kind of like The Handmaid's Tale did when Margaret Atwood wrote it. Everything was based on something that existed somewhere in the world.
Right,
Some sort
yeah.
of ritual, some sort of
Interesting.
system. Yeah.
Gosh. That
So-
sounds great, though.
Yeah.
I mean, despite obviously the heavy topic matter, it just
Yes.
sounds amazing that she thread all that together.
Indeed. So medical professional and good author.
Rock star author.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right. Well,
She's a utility player, you might say.
utility player.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I like it. Well, I hope she isn't a one-hit wonder. I hope she
not.
does revisit
Yes.
that world. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine is a fiction pick. And this is actually, we don't tend to do this a ton, but this is actually a newer release.
Oh.
It was published in April of 2019, and it's called Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. And it's the debut novel for this author. So she was actually previously a trial lawyer. She went to Stanford and then Harvard Law School, and then practiced as a trial lawyer in a big law firm.
Damn it.
I know, right?
I think every one of our picks this week is just going to make us feel real inadequate.
Yeah.
But I'm okay
Look what
with
you've
it.
been doing.
Yeah.
Oh, all of that.
Oh, all of that.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool,
That's
cool.
I binged like 3 seasons of The Real Housewives, but you did sounded great too. I mean, no judgment.
You know, podcasts got me on a strict schedule. I can only excel, really.
Yeah, that's
maybe
fair. If
one
you're going to
thing.
be a good cat guardian,
Right.
then
You got to...
there's things you're going to have to sacrifice. And law
Exactly.
school is probably one of them.
Damn Damn it. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, so she's previously a trial lawyer. So this book, it's a mystery. It's a family drama. It's got complex relationships. It's got some trial elements in it. So she pulled that in. But we are taken to this small town in Virginia where there is a place called the Miracle Submarine. So this is a pressurized oxygen tank that this family runs that is supposed to help people with special needs. Like they say that, kids that are on the autism spectrum or kids that have other kind of diseases, men that have fertility issues, pressurizing the oxygen, putting them in this tank is supposed to help these behaviors or help balance out some things. So it's long been done in other countries, which is where we get this family. They're actually immigrants. And the father was an expert in this, in where they came from. So he decides that they're going to start this here, and it's taken off. It's really popular until someone lights a fire right outside the tanks when the people are inside the submarine. So there's a huge explosion and 2 people are murdered, essentially. So from there, we're going through the trial, and then we're also working backwards to the moment of the fire being set through all these different characters that are involved that all have their own reasons for possibly wanting the fire. They all have their own reasons and secrets of things that are going on in their lives. It is fascinating. I tore through it. It's gripping. It's heartbreaking. It's so beautifully written. I mean, if she didn't write something else, it would be devastating because she's so talented. And I don't even know. How could you be such an amazing trial lawyer and then also be this gripping of a story? And
Wow.
I didn't see it coming. I mean, I didn't see the ending coming. It's not like it's some huge surprise thing. It doesn't rely on twists. It's just really a very deep look into relationships, how family keeps secrets from each other, how people at different points in their lives, what they need from each other, and whether they get that or don't get that. It was wonderful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I wonder with someone like this author, if they'd always been interested in writing and maybe focused on law because, you can make a living
Right.
as
Yeah.
a lawyer.
Yeah.
But maybe, at some point she's like, I can't deny this anymore. I got to write.
Deny this need
Yeah.
to get this down in paper. And thank God, because it was a great story. I say kudos. It was awesome.
I
Yeah.
wonder with some of our utility players too. Like I know my author, she plans to write more. I hope your author does
Yeah.
as well. I wonder if they'll continue with their day job or if they'll just be like, nope, I'm going to commit to this.
I got the impression, because I tried to do some research on that just to see, and I got the impression that she's writing kind of full time now. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't specifically say that, but it's sort of the way it was worded in the biography kind of made me think that. But yeah, I mean, incredible.
Yeah.
So good.
That's wonderful.
And what I think is interesting about our utility players thus far, too, that I think is important to point out, because a lot of writers have to do other jobs while they're writing
Absolutely.
to support themselves, but I think it's less common to have jobs that are so involved
Intensive,
themselves. I mean,
yes.
being a lawyer, being a nurse practitioner, those are things that are time consuming. You bring that job home all the time. So to have any amount left over, that's different than being a waitress or,
Or even being an office job, like, you
Right.
and I have. Like,
Yeah.
it's a different,
different
level
feel.
of intensity. Yeah. It's
it would be
amazing.
easy to, click out of something and pull up a Word doc for an hour, but you can't do that when you got, psychiatric patients to see
No.
or, someone to help beat a murder charge. Like, that's,
So then I wonder, what's their sleep schedule like?
it's got to be nothing. Which
I
is
feel
not,
bad for them.
yeah, I mean, that's not good either.
No, you need your sleep.
It's another special skill I possess, like sleep.
Man, so do I.
Yeah.
You know what else I like? Food. Is that a special skill?
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Sleep and food. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is some of the basic human
That's true.
necessities.
That's true.
I like how we turned Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the bottom of the pyramid, we turned into special skills. Not even the top, the bottom.
I don't know. I mean, there's things we do by instinct, and then there's things we do with skill.
Yeah, that's
We sleep
true.
with skill.
Yeah, I do.
I eat with skill.
Damn right.
And by skill, I don't mean not spilling on me, because I do.
Oh, I do that a lot. Yeah. No, it's not like any kind of special.
No.
No.
Okay.
It's just like a feat in just saying, like, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat it now.
All of it.
Yeah. And I feel like we have a special skill at finding new good places to eat.
Oh, for sure.
yeah. That's a skill.
Sure. I mean, we kind of turned Des Moines on to Kathmandu. Let's be
We
honest.
did. And I kind of want to take responsibility for acai bowl too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which we went to today, and there's a line out the door.
Yeah.
That's on us.
Yeah. Because we were there when there was no line.
We were there in the dead of winter.
We were. It was freezing, and we were still eating that acai base deliciousness.
And I still don't understand why they don't just have our food waiting for us when we come in.
I know, it's incredibly infuriating. There was a moment today when we were in line and someone said Erin, and I thought, wow, they did it. They did it. They remembered and they just made it. My whole life has culminated to this point. And then it was dashed when someone else with the same name took it.
That's kind of like, I've always wanted to be able to go into a bar and just be like, yep, the usual. And then just have them give me whatever is that usual at the time.
Do you know
That's
that
old fashioned.
I knew someone in college that went to college in a different state, but the Taco Bell that he frequented knew him so well, and he ordered so much food at one time that they had a button for him. So that the workers wouldn't have to type it all in. They had a button. They programmed a button. And I was like, you've made it. You've got your own button at the Taco Bell.
What did they do when he left? Did they have to remove the button?
Yeah.
Probably a big part of their monthly take-in.
Yeah, that franchise probably closed.
Oh my God.
They're like, what happened? What happened
Where'd
here?
Cliff go?
Yeah.
I don't know. His name's Cliff.
No,
to
but
me.
that's all right. I like
Okay.
it. Yeah, I like it.
I just like the idea of a button named Cliff.
I just
Cliff.
like the image of him having to stand at Taco Bell and like say it multiple times so they could program it in. Because you know that didn't happen easily.
Sure.
So they're just like, okay, right? Okay, no. What was the next thing? Another chalupa. Another. This is number 4, right? Okay, not 3, 4. Okay, just checking. All right. And the nachos. Is that 2 orders? Oh, it is 2 orders of nachos. Okay, good. And a churro. And that's probably not even scratching the surface. No. Wow. I mean, kudos to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Got your
so
own
I guess he's a
button.
utility player in keeping Taco Bell alive.
Good for you.
Good job.
You know what? You got to fight for something. So you might as well have that be it, right?
Fight for your button at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, on the note of, more utility players.
Yes, give us more.
My other genre pick this week is called Girl in a Band by Kim Gordon from 2015.
This does not sound at all like a book you would pick up.
No, not at all, right? No.
Uh-uh.
Kim Gordon is, or was, the singer and bassist for Sonic Youth. Also an artist, a visual artist, a performance artist. She's been in a number of bands since Sonic Youth. So all around just artistic, musically inclined.
Do you feel like I feel like there's a lot of artists that have that.
Yes.
They are artistic in more than one area. Like
Yeah.
it comes out in a lot of ways.
In fact, it was hard to narrow down this other genre pick this week because there's a lot of like memoirs and things by artists and musicians that it works so well, the way that they transfer that kind of art to the page.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. But in this book, Kim Gordon's book, we start in Brazil at Sonic Youth's last show. Kim Gordon is absolutely hating this because she's not speaking to her husband and bandmate, Thurston Moore, because it's recently been revealed there's been a years-long affair with another person. And so the marriage and the band is ending after 30-some years. So we're at a really rough, raw transition point for her, but she goes back and she documents her childhood in California. She talks about her brother, who was a very important force in her life, but who was also potentially schizophrenic, somewhat abusive. It moves to when she moved to New York City in late 70s, early 80s, the dirty, sort of old New York City before it got kind of cleaned up, to be an artist. And there she met Thurston Moore, and they started the band, Sonic Youth. So it chronicles that. It also chronicles the beginning of sort of alternative music, which I'm putting in quotes because there's never been a real clear definition of what alternative music is. Mm-hmm. But at the time, late 80s, early 90s, it started being like Nirvana. And it talks about her friendship with Kurt Cobain and other artists like that. Laced throughout the book is this sort of deep sadness, at this time in her life when everything is changing. She's looking back, but also a bit of hope too. Like now, I get to do other things. I get to try new things, to show who she really is. And like I said, if you've, I chose this because she is known for her music and for her art. One thing I really liked too is that if you've ever watched Sonic Youth, listened to Sonic Youth, seen a video for them, Kim always sort of looks like almost unattainable, like very cool. Like she wouldn't be the person you'd go up to at a party to start talking to because she'd feel real like inadequate, feel real like, oh, she won't be interested in me kind of thing.
Right, unapproachable.
Yes. And a lot of reviewers and other music critics would talk about how she was so aloof and how, that was one of her things. In the book, she's very clearly talks about like, I was cripplingly shy. I was very, she had this intense sort of imposter syndrome too. So she used that facade as like,
a protection.
Yeah, as a protection. And it's so fascinating to see that and to then imagine all these other artists, musicians, people like that, especially women, I think, that may be using that as a sort of self-protection measure. She's very sensitive as well, and that it sort of drove her art. And so we get to see that through the book. I really like this because she allows herself to be very accessible, to be very raw, to be very vulnerable. And it's just a wonderful book because of that. And the way she writes is killer. And again, makes me upset. She's so freaking
doing it.
Talented. So yeah,
Kim Gordon's great. Yeah,
Girl in a Band. It's wonderful. And I think she also talks about that idea, the very title, Girl in a Band. For so long, she was sort of pigeonholed as a female musician, as the one girl in Sonic Youth, got all sorts of questions like, what's it like to be the girl in the band? Hence the name. So she kind of answers that in really fun.
That is great.
Kind of FU fashion.
I like it. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, my nonfiction pick, I went a different direction because I was like you. There was a lot that you could pick here because it seemed like there are a lot of either celebrities or musicians, artists that have written memoirs that I've read and were great. And, you could pick for this. But I picked this person because not a one-hit wonder in the sense that there was only one book on this topic. But again, someone that taking this and having writing be a skill where it's entertaining on this topic. So I picked Freakonomics, a rogue economist explores the hidden side of everything by Stephen Levitt.
Interesting.
Yes. So this was published in 2005. You might have heard of it in a variety of different ways because he went on to publish Super Freakonomics and then a couple other books. I think he might even have a podcast now. I mean, it was fairly popular when it came out. And he was in fact voted by Time Magazine as one of the 100 people who shaped our world in 2006. And that's why I picked him as a utility player because he's an economist at heart. I mean, that's what he went to school for. That's what he studied. And generally, and that's probably somewhat of a stereotype, but generally in those kind of scientific areas or areas that are really math heavy or research heavy, you tend to get more dry type writing.
Sure do.
Yeah. And so, but this book is absolutely not that. It is so fascinating. It's like a economy book with a society tie-in. It's sociology and the economic side of it. So I think that anybody would enjoy it. It's sectioned into chapters. Basically, he's answering questions in each chapter, and he's drawing these things together that you would never have guessed related to each other. So like one of the questions he answers is, which is more dangerous, a gun or a swimming pool? What do school teachers and sumo wrestlers have in common? Why do drug dealers still live with their moms? How much do parents really matter? What kind of impact did Roe versus Wade have on violent crime? So many things that you would think I never would have thought those things were connected. And he breaks it down and explains why we saw, a decrease in violent crime after Roe v. Wade was passed. And he gives you all the scientific evidence. Wow. He explains all the connections, but it's so interesting. And it's so fascinating to look at something like this in that way. There's a blurb about it that says, if morality represents how we would like the world to work, then economics represents how it actually does work.
Interesting.
Which is it's great. He talks about the inner workings of a crack gang, myths of campaign finance, so many things. My favorite is that he does this whole section about parenting and all these things that we sometimes shame parents for, or, they kind of have that competition of like, well, I do this, I do this. And he breaks down the ones that have a direct impact and the ones that don't. Particularly ones that I think are rife with being able to shame somebody about. So he says, reading to your child, having books in the house, no surprise, direct impact on literacy rates and dropout rates, things like that. One-parent households, no direct impact. I mean, so many things that I was like, oh, that's fascinating. That's, a household where both parents work, no direct impact.
Wow.
And he's talking about very specific things. So, but it's fascinating, some of those things that he draws and how he explains those. And it's just a different way to look at a lot of things that you would just never consider looking at that way. And for something that sounds like it could be so dry, like a book about economics, it's fascinating.
Wow.
And I really think anybody would enjoy it, honestly. And you can kind of take it by section. Like if something doesn't really interest you, you could skip to the next chapter and read about a different question he's answering. So
wow.
Yeah.
Is he you said he's done like other versions of Freakonomics.
He did like kind of like the sequel was Super Freakonomics, and then there was one like Think Like a Freakonomic, I think, or something along those lines, where he was kind of trying to show how he pulls those parallels out or how he discovers the things that he wants to talk about. So yeah, he had monster success. So to say, you know, that it was a one-hit wonder isn't true, because he did a lot of books, but a utility player in the fact that being able to take such a dry, somewhat statistical dense topic and make it read like a story. I mean, to get down to like the human element of it, so interesting.
It is.
Yeah.
I would want him to do something more current now, so we can see, like, you know, thinking about like the parent aspect of, you know, how does social media impact your kids, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that would be. And, you know, he very well might. I should probably do some research, because I'm pretty sure he still has the podcast. So he might. Yeah, get into some of that stuff. So I should probably do that. In fact, I will, and I'll get back to you.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. We'll
Sorry
have that
to give
be
you a task.
No, that's all right. We always do that, don't we?
That's true.
Yeah, we didn't come up with a business yet, so I might as well have a to-do list.
You know what would be a good business idea? Because I've done this at work a lot. Whenever you work in like academia, which I have, or medicine, it's exactly like what you say. When they're trying to communicate, the ability to communicate something and not be dry is so rare. So one, it shows, yes, how amazing he was and able to translate that. But two, we can do that.
Yeah.
I've done it at work. We should go and do our own business. Just translating people's gibberish into story.
Awesome stories.
Oh, boom.
God, you're right.
Yeah.
We're going to need another spot in the strip mall. I don't know what the name for that business is
We're
yet.
We're going to work in a strip mall?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Remember, we have to have like the
that's right,
Penguin store and the Cog store.
We've had so many, I forget.
Yeah, it just keeps expanding. It's going to be...
We need to draw a map of like our strip mall so we can just keep an idea of what's going where.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll write
that
good.
Down. Erin's writing that down.
Map of strip mall.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we could put that on social media, so every time we have an idea, someone could see where the new store is going to be.
Oh my God.
You could get excited for the ribbon cutting with those big scissors. I've always wanted to use those big scissors.
Yeah. I want to use those big scissors multiple times, not just when we open, but like maybe every morning.
Every
just
day opening the mail. Oh, shoot, I cut it in half again. I want to know where they get them, because I've looked at Office Max and they're not there.
Must be like a special politician novelty shop or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I'd really like a pair.
I'd like the one too. God, we would cut the shit out of some things.
Can you imagine? It'd be so great. I'd love to just show up someplace where they shouldn't be and just be like getting on an airplane. Oh, shoot. I forgot those are in my bag.
It wasn't shown on the thing. Like, it's just tiny scissors. It didn't say anything about big ones.
What do you mean I could do damage with these? Oh, man, that'd be great. I mean, it might end bad, but it'd be hilarious.
It'd be hilarious. Yeah, and we would, you know, stream it live to all of our fans. And then when it turns bloody, like, well, we had a good run.
Why don't I just get a pair for like next Christmas when my kids are struggling to open presents, be like, let me get that for you.
Like, I thought of this.
Oh, shoot. I cut your Xbox in half.
These damn big scissors.
Dang it.
Super powerful.
Just kidding. We didn't buy you an Xbox.
Tricked you with the big scissors.
Yeah. That's what you got. A pair of big scissors. I already used them.
Oh, my goodness.
See?
Well, we've had some good utility players.
Amazing
now,
utility
through all
players.
of our books.
Yes.
Now we're going to turn to pop culture. And boy, are
This
you
is
in
a
store
first.
for something.
This is a Broads and Books first.
It is indeed. Because we picked the same thing. Mm-hmm. And we knew we were picking the same thing.
Yes, on purpose. On purpose.
Because we saw this movie together this week.
We did.
And have not been able to stop talking about this damn thing.
No, I can't.
No.
I can't stop
Do you want to
laughing.
say what it is, Erin?
Well, how about I reveal the utility
Okay,
player?
great.
So our utility player related to this movie is Olivia Wilde. Mm-hmm. Because previously, wonderful actress.
Absolutely.
Lots of great stuff under her belt. She decided she's going to direct a movie.
She sure did.
And what was that movie? Amy?
That movie was Booksmart. Starring
Glorious.
two young women named Beanie Feldstein and Caitlin Deaver, I think.
Good job.
Thank you.
I
Well,
didn't even know that.
we've gotten obsessed. I've been doing some deep dives into books.
I do, but I've not remembered the names very well, clearly. Oh,
So this movie, do you want to talk about the plot? Or
it's
should I?
so good.
Yeah.
So it's essentially these two great friends.
Wonderful friends. Molly and Amy.
Molly
One
and
was
Amy.
named Amy.
And where could we go wrong, right? They are going to graduate the next day, and they're real proud of themselves because they got into their dream colleges. Yale. She's the valedictorian, Molly is. So she feels like every decision she's made this far has been on point. She has chosen to study and take the solid, good path.
Not
through high
engage
school.
in any tomfoolery with alcohol, drugs,
No,
partying.
not
none
even
of
a little
that.
bit.
No.
To the point where a lot of her classmates think she's somewhat uptight.
Yes.
Okay. So she has this horrible epiphany on the last day of school and finds out that all these people that she thought were making these bad decisions also got into good colleges.
Sure did.
So
One of her enemies is going to Yale.
Yes.
One's going to work at Google. Just skipping the whole college thing.
The one that repeated 7th grade twice. So the whole paradigm is shifted in her head because now she feels like everything she did it wrong. She could have done both. Well, lucky for them, they got one night left.
Sure do.
And damn, they make what a night out of it.
Their quest is to make it to a party.
Yes.
Thrown by a young boy named Nick. And their goal is thwarted in multiple ways.
So many
at
ways.
first,
So many glorious
which
ways.
makes for wonderful movie viewing.
Fantastic
Cinematic
experience.
by the time they actually make it to the movie or make it to the party, it's not even about the party anymore.
No.
It's about just this journey that they go on.
Yes.
And yeah, hilarity ensues.
It's the story of their friendship, which is awesome. It's the strong female friendship that's shown as realistic, but not catty, and as being very important and powerful, and how important that can be for someone, which I thought was amazing.
Absolutely.
The whole thing from the whole time. First of all, I laughed through the entire thing.
She did indeed.
I could not stop laughing. In fact, I grabbed Amy a few times because I was laughing so hard that's something I do, I will admit.
Yes.
And yeah. I couldn't help myself.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It's got some nice cameos by a few key people like Jason Sudeikis.
Yes.
Who else? Jessica Williams.
Yes.
Will Forte.
Yes.
Lisa Kudrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So many great.
They all signed on to this movie because they saw the genius that this was going to be.
Genius.
And like Erin said, it's about, the power of female friendship as, the thing that drives them.
Yes.
They're not like going to this party necessarily to hook up with anybody. They're not trying to get wasted or do any of that. They're just trying to show everyone that they are fun. They can have some fun.
Yes. And what I also liked about it is that there is a moment in their friendship where they kind of have to take stock of why they are such good friends. And that wasn't based on one of them liking a guy that the other one liked, or, one of them getting invited on a date and the other didn't have anything to do with that. It had to do just with them, their lives, and something between them, which is real, which is important. And you're right. You know what? It doesn't have to center on a guy.
It centers on Molly and Amy. Who are just an utter delight from the very start.
The opening scene that I have now watched multiple times because we found a clip online.
We found a clip of the first 6
I shouldn't
minutes
say we,
online.
Amy did, and then sent it to me, and I've delighted in it almost hourly since then. Is a fantastic dance scene.
Yeah.
And
just to start the day.
Just to start the day.
Yes. And I will admit that some of the lines that Molly and Amy exchange to each other, Erin and I are now saying on a regular basis.
All the time.
All the time.
Yes.
So go see the movie to see what we're talking about. And like we said, utility player wise, Olivia Wilde. Wow. She picked a smart project. She knocked it out of the freaking park. I am really excited to see what she continues to do as a director. I love that she chose this very female-centric story as her first go. And yeah, it was wonderful.
The whole thing has a vibe to it, too, that I think is amazing. We're talking a lot about the storyline and the acting, but to get back to Olivia Wilde being a utility player, the actual camera work of it, the whole kind of vibe, the soundtrack, the visuals, everything that she does in that movie, you can tell is on purpose, but it all comes together. It creates this very unique experience that I thought really, I think if you didn't have that, it wouldn't rise to the level that it did.
Absolutely.
I mean, the humor is obviously going to come through, but not to. It's just not going to be as powerful.
And because of that, I think this will be a classic, honestly,
Yes.
for years to come. I think that a lot of young girls, especially, will watch this growing up, and this will be their movie that, you know, that they point to as like them and their friend, or that, you know,
Yes.
they're the movie to aspire to in some ways.
Yeah. And we've seen reviews and stuff where they're kind of trying to draw the parallel to like the girl version of Superbad. And I almost hesitated to say that because I don't want to feed into that at all. Because I don't think it's anything like that.
No.
If you're going to compare it, then you'd have to put Superbad at the bottom of the spectrum, and Booksmart at the top, because this blows that out of the water.
Which even Jonah Hill admitted.
Yes.
He said. So Jonah Hill is the brother of one of the characters, Beanie Feldstein, and he said in a post that Superbad was just nowhere near as good as this.
Yep, in an interview. Yeah, no, like the real life brother, doesn't play the brother in the movie, is the real life brother of one of the actresses. And he said it's not even comparable. And he's right. It's not.
So right. Which makes me like Jonah Hill more.
So much more.
God, you're smart, Jonah.
Get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're dang right your sister did it better. Yeah, it's so great.
So there you have it, our first joint pick. Can you believe that?
Well, if there was
I
going to
can
be a
believe
joint
it.
pick,
Yeah.
it had to be this.
What's wonderful is, like, as we're preparing for this episode, we're sort of texting each other, and around the same time, we both had the idea, what if we both talked about Booksmart?
Yeah.
Glorious, wonderful,
Yes.
joyful emotions followed.
Wonderful emotions. And then I watched that clip again and I laughed and then everything was wonderful. And then I went to Taco Bell.
Who allowed you to be this beautiful?
Who allowed you to be this good at a podcast?
Watch the movie and you'll get that.
Yeah. Mhm. And you'll want to say it to everyone that you meet.
Absolutely. And just say, I missed you. I missed you so much.
I missed you so much. I just saw you 10 minutes ago, but I miss you so much.
So much.
So much.
God.
Just like you miss us every Wednesday.
Seriously. Oh my God, you're right. They like encapsulated how our listeners feel, for real.
I think so.
Oh, wow. So Olivia Wilde, you did that for us too.
And you know what, listeners? The feeling's mutual.
Oh God, it is. I love our listeners so much.
You too.
I love the fact that this was our second listener suggested theme.
Right?
We haven't even hit 20 episodes and we got 2 listeners suggesting a theme.
I know.
It's amazing.
Which A says our listeners are awesome.
Yeah.
We already know they have great taste.
Oh, yeah.
But they're also wicked smart.
For sure they are.
So, yeah.
They are critical thinkers. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
broads, this is what I want to hear about.
Yeah. And we're like, done.
Done.
Challenge accepted. And then mission accomplished.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this was our episode, Utility Players. Again, these were people that excelled in one field and then made us feel completely inadequate by turning to writing and just knocking it out of the freaking
Knocking
park.
it out of the park like it's no big deal. Let me just write this novel real quick and have it be awesome. Come on.
I mean, we admire you so much, but we
do.
also kind
I
of hate
do.
you a little bit
I do.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be mutually, you know.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you all killed it. I mean, Angie
You
Kim,
did.
seriously, wow. Oh, so good.
So we will be back next Wednesday. And in the meantime, you can head to our website, broadsandbooks.com. Check out all the recommendations we made in this episode.
You betcha you can. And guess what else is on our website?
What?
There is some bonus material, bonus episodes. We got giving each other quizzes.
Oh my God.
We have
I don't even
just
remember
interviewing
this.
each other. We have a
Oh.
gift guide and the most recent one, which was released maybe a week ago, is a road trip special.
That's right. How
You
to
and
survive
I,
one.
How to survive one. Our rules for it, accompanied by playlists.
I mean, that's all you need for a road trip.
yeah.
Listen to it and then take it with you.
Catch up on the podcast, listen to our road trip playlist. So, yeah, if you don't have a good enough reason to go to the website, I can't help you. 'Cause
For
Those
sure.
are phenomenal reasons.
And then, I mean, just listing or hearing all the things that Erin was listing off, all the things we're doing for you, all we ask in return, give us a review. Please. Give us a rating.
Yes.
Give us a few words about how much you love us. And you know what that does? It brings us up in the ratings so we can keep doing this.
So we can keep doing. People can keep finding us, and if it makes you feel better, every time we get one, Amy and I do our own dance.
We do.
We get so excited,
so freaking excited.
It means so much to us.
It does. It's super fun too to try and figure out if we know the name. So many times we don't,
and
we're
that
like,
means
this
so
is
much.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's all the
So
crack
you're
I need.
giving us. You're giving us joy that's better than hard drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like we mentioned, this was a listener idea. We've had the other one with the classics. If you got some theme ideas or you have some question or some books you'd like to hear about, even if it's a half-baked idea,
For sure.
we'll finish baking it.
We'll run with it.
Send it.
Yeah. We
Bring
will
it on
bake
in.
it to golden goodness.
Golden perfection. No soggy bottoms here.
You can bring us those half-baked or fully baked ideas on Facebook, on Twitter, on our Instagram, or our website where you can email us directly.
Yeah, you can. Happy reading.
I'm up again. Same night, another dream. Before trying this recording thing, I didn't remember much of anything of these dreams. I didn't remember much from any of the women. And one night of doing this, and it's broken things open. The dreams they're in me, and they're coming out of me, and
Talk to me. I am not broken. I am the most whole, most real.
cause their despair. I wait for the word. Witch.
Look at the mad woman in her cage. She was a woman with holes inside her. That was the heaviest factor, the final evidence, the heart of the issue.
Somehow, you understand this. You hear me. Wherever you are, whatever this is, you... This isn't a dream journal anymore. It's not. It's just fact. Because now this is some sort of record. What are these dreams? Maybe there's a better question. Who are these women? Weird Woman is a Broads and Books production. All 9 episodes are available January 10th. Listen and subscribe to Weird Woman on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform. That's WYRD Woman, wherever you listen to podcasts.